Hi, I am Navilakshmi Kandet. Now I am going to tell about the term project operating systems for smartphones Android. Now let us see the outline of the project. It includes abstract introduction, history of Android, design of Android, Android versions, complexity and cost of implementation, pros of Android, cons of Android, compatibility, applications of Android, future tendency of Android, conclusion and differences. Now let us see the abstract. Android is an open source mobile operating system that is primarily made for touchscreen mobile devices like smartphones and tablets. It is built on a modified version of the Linux kernel. I choose this topic to highlight the major differences in design software compatibility. In addition, I would go over the significant additions to the operating system's feature set as well as its management and future course before describing the history of the OS and its key updates. Now let us see the introduction of the project. An operating system is a collection of programs that performs basic functions to programs running on computers and manages the hardware resources of computers. A mobile operating system is a software that allows the smartphones, tablets, and other devices to run programs and apps. Mobile operating system manages cellular and wireless network connectivity in addition to managing phone access. On mobile devices like PDS, cell phones, smartphones, etc., additional software applications known as application programs can operate on the top of a mobile OS. And also there are several different mobile operating systems. The following list includes the most significant ones. There are iPhone OS, Google Android platform, Windows Mobile OS, Java platform, Symbian OS, Google Android platform, BlackBerry OS, and Palm OS. Now let us see the history of the Android. In October 2003, Andy Rubin established Android Incorporation in Palo Alto, California in the United States. Google acquired Android Incorporation on August 17, 2005. Since that time, it has been a Google subsidiary. As a result of Andy Rubin's interest in robotics, his employees have given him the nickname Android. Android was originally designed for cameras, but because there was a small market for just cameras, the focus was eventually shifted to smartphones. Google announces the creation of the Android OS in 2007. The HTC Business launched the first Android smartphone in 2008. Design of Android. An operating system Android is made up of number of software components organized into 5 sections and 4 main layers. There are Linux kernel, libraries, Android runtime, application framework, and applications. The following image shows the design of the Android. There are 5 main parts included in this figure: applications and application framework, libraries, Android runtime, and Linux kernel. Now let us see about the Linux kernel. Android makes use of a powerful Linux kernel and support for several hardware drivers. The operating system kernel controls how input-output requests from software are handled, and it also offers basic system features including memory management, process management, and device management for things like cameras, keyboards, and displays. Everything is handled by the Linux kernel. And second one is libraries. Numerous libraries are available for Linux, including the libc library and open source web browsers like WebKit. Audio and video can be played and recording using these libraries. Now, Android runtime. A type of Java virtual machine is called Dalvik Virtual Machine is a crucial element offered by the Android runtime. It is optimized and specially made for Android. This program allows Android device to run apps. Application framework. For applications like window managers, view systems, package managers, and resource managers, the application framework layer offers a wide range of high-level functions. These services can be incorporated into apps by application developers. And the last one is applications. At the top level, where all Android applications are located, you can develop and install applications. Applications like contacts, books, browsers, and services are the few examples. Throughout the application, each application has a unique duty to play. Now let us discuss about the Android versions. There are different type of versions. The first one is Android versions 1.0 to 1.1. In the beginning, Android didn't even have a proper identity when it made its initial debut in 2008 with Android 1.0. Android version 1.5. The concept of Android names began with the announcement of Android 1.5 Cupcake in the early 2009. The first on-screen keyboard which was introduced by Cupcake and would later become a technology of great importance as a smartphone. The first ever video camera feature was also a part of the Cupcake. Version 2.0 to 2.1 of Android Eclair. Version 2.0, popularly known as Eclair, was released only 6 weeks after the Donut. Eclair was the first Android version to receive widespread media coverage thanks to the original Motorola Android phone and extensive smartphone marketing effect that surrounded it. Frio is the Android version 2.2. Google released Android 2.2, also known as Frio, 4 months after the release of Android 2.1. Now let us see the fifth Android version. It is called Gingerbread is the Android version 2.3. Gingerbread's 2010 release marked the beginning of Android's genuine visual identity. With the new robot logo for Android, the color bright green had already been recognized. The sixth one is Honeycomb Android 3.0 through 3.2. The Motorola Zoom was released in conjunction with the introduction of 3.0, which remained a tablet-only upgrade through the succeeding 3.1 and 3.2 updates. The seventh one is Ice Cream Sandwich is Android version 4.0. This version kept important system features including on-screen icons and an app switcher with a card-like interface. Versions 4.1 to 4.3 of Android are also known as Jelly Bean. The ICS new framework was greatly improved upon and expanded upon by the Jelly Bean releases of 2012 and 2013, which included 3 major Android versions. KitKat Android 4.4. The first iteration of OK Google technology was introduced with Android 4.4. Although with the KitKat, the hands-free engagement prompt was only available when your screen was already turned on and you were either on your main screen or inside the mobile application. The 10th one is Lollipop is the name given to the Android versions 5.0 and 5.1. In Android 5.0, the alerting system has been charged. Individual announcements are now shown on cards that fully match to the content design language, and the original app may group batches of announcement. Marshmallow is Android version 6.0. Marshmallow was a pretty minor Android release, more compatible to a 0.1 level update than anything deserving of a full embrace. Nougat is the name given to the Android version 7.0 and 7.1. Google updated Android Nougat in 2016 with a native split screen option, a new blended by app notification management system, and a data server function. Oreo is the name given to the Android versions 8.0 and 8.1. In addition to a native picture-in-picture mode, alert snoozing, and notification networks, Android Oreo also included a number of other innovations. Pi is the ninth version of Android. The biggest change in Pi was the addition of a hybrid gesture button GPS system that replaced Android traditional back, main, and explore buttons with a large multi-purpose fingerprint sensor and a small back button that appeared when appropriate. Android version 10. An improved access management system with more control over geolocation, a new format dark theme, a new distraction limiting focus mode, a new on-demand live subtitles framework are just a few of numerous improvements in Android 10. Android 11 is the latest version of Android. This upgrade enhances the enhanced access mechanism first offered in Android 10 by enabling users to provide apps certain rights, such as location access, image process, and mic access just once. Android 12. Android 12 comes with a ton of new features and a major redesign. With Android 12, your phone responds to touch input with fluid animation and graphics. These are all the different versions of the Android. Now let us see the complexity and cost of implementation. The Android operating system is run by Android applications which control various capabilities and help in the operation of the system. Although it is an exciting endeavor, application development is also rewarding, particularly if you are new to this procedure and we are unable to even estimate the price of developing an app for your company. No one can provide you an accurate quotation without knowing your business goals, app features, and user flow, budget, and more. The complexity of the product, the number of features, the location of the vendor, the operating system or platform, and a number of other variables all have a role in sizable variation in app development costs. Now let us see the pros of Android. Since Android is Linux based and open source, anyone can create new versions of it. Simple access to the Android app market. Android users like discovering new Google Voice features. The Android app market has a free download for this program. The second one is support all Google services, including Android, Gmail, and Google Reader. All Google services are accessible on Android, which has only one operating system. Installing custom ROMs on Android phones is safe because there are huge amount of options available and they come with warranties. Now let us see the cons of Android. Internet connection necessary for Android. Android can be considered to require an active internet connection so that the device is prepared to go online and suit our demands. There should be at least a GPRS internet connection available in our neighborhood. Managers have access over Android market which might be infected with malware. For users to connect to Google as a direct service provider might be very challenging. Now let us see the compatibility of the Android. The Android allows only hardware manufacturer to create a product that runs it. A device can only be considered Android compatible if it can successfully run applications created for the Android runtime environment. Each device must pass the compatibility set of test cases in order to be recognized as compatible with Android, which defines the design requirements of Android execution environment. Now let us see the applications of Android. Android has a wide range of applications. The top applications are as follows. Tools for entertainment, productivity, personalization, and communication, music and audio, Facebook and YouTube, local and travel, etc. These are the applications of Android. The future tendency of Android. The Android operating system has a goal of dominating software smartphone operating systems until 2026. According to Strategy Analytics, the global smartphone sales will increase by 5% in 2022. The adoption of 5G and accessibility of affordable cell phones are to be blamed for this, along with the slowdown in the economy. Over the next 5 years, Android will have a market share of 83 to 84% between the various operating systems that run these devices. Finally, the conclusion of the project is Android is probably the most popular phone operating system in the world after experiencing substantial growth throughout the last 4 years. When compared to Apple and Microsoft software, Android's customization features are unmatched, enabling users to modify and alter nearly every aspect of the operating system, something that the majority of the iPhone and Windows users would never consider. I don't want to compare one operating system to another, but Android is distinct and unmatched by other mobile operating systems. And these are the references which I go through. Android Programming, the Beginner Ranch Guide, 3rd edition by Bill Phillips, Chris, and Hello Android, and some websites which I go through this project. And thank you.